Welcome to Plastic Model Mojo, a podcast dedicated to scale modeling, as well as the news and events around the hobby. Let's join Mike and Kentucky Dave as they strive to be informative, entertaining, and help you keep your modeling mojo alive.
Mojovia, welcome to episode 145 of Plastic Model Mojo. Dave, how you doing?
I'm doing okay. Again, how can we be doing bad if we're on the way to the Nationals? And by the time people are listening to this, we should be on our way to the Nationals. And it doesn't get better than that.
No? Well, what's up in your model sphere?
Well, the model sphere's been hectic and scattered. As I mentioned last time, we've had some family stuff that has taken a lot of time. Then my wife had to travel unfortunately, for a funeral for a cousin. Then her birthday was yesterday, and we had a nice party with friends and neighbors. And unfortunately, you weren't able to come, but I understand that, given you're moving 2 college kids this weekend. But I've been getting model-related stuff going. I've been packing for the Nationals, which I've got to tell you, and maybe we'll do this as a shop talk or something. Packing for the Nationals has now actually become a thing. It used to be, back when I was headed to the Nationals, the night before I'd open up a suitcase, I'd throw some stuff in there and
some socks and underwear.
Right, socks, underwear, and a couple of convention T-shirts, and I was off to the races. It's actually become a thing that, okay, well, I got to remember this. I got to take this for this guy. I've got to.
Yeah.
It's really become a thing. So,
and, we're probably going to go out at least one. We'll go out for dinner virtually every night.
Oh yeah.
But usually we end up, especially with the Minnesota Twins.
Yeah.
We end up going probably one place that's, nicer than the others. I won't say
right. Something that you don't want to wear shorts and a T-shirt too.
Your shorts and your Canada IPMS T-shirt.
Yeah, the Sweating Beaver T-shirt. Yes, which I am bringing again. I mean, even if we have fewer Canadians at this year's Nationals, I'm still going to be representing IPMS Canada.
Need to get the logo and print a new one.
Yeah, well, they actually reissued it. You can buy them now. You can buy them again.
You need to retire that one.
But I've got an original that still fits me from 1986. Have
you seen that insurance commercial where the guy tells his daughter he bought all these clothes while he was in boot camp?
Boot camp? That's it. That's me, man.
Is that how that shirt's fitting?
No, it actually fits. It actually fits still pretty well. I've managed to, while the lovely model wife is an extremely good cook who has managed to put significant weight on me. No, the shirt still fits pretty well.
All right. Just kidding you, man.
Yeah, I know. So what's your model sphere been like?
Same kind of thing. Gathering our wares, all our gear to have at the table, making sure we've got fresh batteries and everything, making sure the rechargeable stuff's recharged, make sure I have the rechargers, all the cables.
Oh, I've got to remember my microphone.
All the mic stands, the microphone. We really should just buy another one so we don't have to have that issue anymore.
Yeah, I know. Well, I haven't screwed that up so far.
No, you haven't.
So, but it'll happen some point.
Well, you can pack it after tonight.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Take it down and pack it up.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just getting all that stuff together, make sure the swag we've got on hand is packed. Just stuff like that. And another thing I've been working on is at some point between, we did a video going through St. Louis. So it's when we were going to Omaha. Sometime since that national convention, Facebook changed something that you cannot Facebook Live in landscape format. And we haven't been able to do it because you put the phone on the stand in the car, and if it's in portrait format, it's not wide enough to see both.
Right.
I found a hack for that.
Oh, good.
I've got an app that runs above all the other apps on the phone and forces everything. You turn that sucker on, and landscape is the only thing it'll do.
Yeah.
And I've tested it. It looks like it's going to work. Folks, you may see a short test video early this week, tomorrow or Monday, me driving around town or something, giving this thing a test drive to make sure it works. But if it does, keep your phone close during your travel journeys. You might see Mike and Kentucky Dave in the front seat of the car.
I'm looking forward to that. I have actually commiserated with several listeners on Facebook about different things Facebook has been doing that they do without notice and seemingly for no sensible reason. And then you got like that AI chat bot.
Yeah, it's all sensible for them.
Yeah, well, exactly. The thing in the dojo where every once in a while it'll mark a member's post a potential spam. And it's like, there's no rhyme or reason for this. Why are you doing this? So there's a fix. We go in and we whitelist people so that doesn't happen. But it's a pain in the butt. Come on, Facebook, get it together.
Well, hopefully we'll be able to do this again, because I always enjoyed those. And
those were fun.
It's fun. So that's my model sphere. Trying to get everything ready to go, man. Trying to get ready to have you roll up sometime before 6 a.m.
Oh, I'm going to be
Wednesday
there
morning, because it's ass and seat at 6 a.m., baby.
Yeah, that's right.
And we're rolling out.
Well, Mike, since we're recording, I'm assuming you've got a modeling fluid.
I do, Dave.
What do you have?
It's Russell's Reserve 10-year, but unfortunately it's a bottle I thought I was buying to take to Nationals. So it hasn't survived the weekend.
Oh, no.
So I'll bring what's left. I was going to go get something else anyway. So yeah, I just was winding down last night. You know, like you mentioned earlier, my wife and I have moved my two sons to their respective new accommodations here in town for the start of the next college year. And man, I'm beat like a dirty rug.
You're not as young as you used to be. That furniture moving in your 20s was a whole lot easier, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, it was. Well, part of that was because IBM and Lexmark paid a local mover to move me all the time. So
nice.
That was kind of nice. But yeah, I tapped into this, and I don't know. By the end of the weekend, it's going to be down quite a bit. I'm going to have to get another one of these and one more to have with us on the trip. So
yeah, we'll probably have some modeling fluid while we're in Hampton.
What about you? What do you got?
Well, I have Texas's favorite soft drink, Dr. Pepper.
Ah.
There's a reason for this.
You constipated?
Okay. What? Not? Oh, no.
Yeah, I swear that natural ingredient they have on there is prune juice. I swear it is.
Oh, if you heat it up, it tastes like warm prune juice. But again, there's a reason for this. And it has nothing to do with my colon. We got the Nats coming up. The Minnesota Twins are coming in. We're going to see plenty of our listeners. And so kind of to rest and recuperate prior to the Nationals, I thought tonight, instead of a modeling fluid, I'm going to have a soft drink. Take it easy on Mr. Liver. Let him kind of get ready so that when we get to the Nationals, we will be able to enjoy whatever modeling fluids are available at the Nats. So here's a Dr. Pepper. It is also the drink that you and I take on the road when we travel.
Yeah,
so
it is.
That's one of the reasons I have it, is because we're going to have these. I bought a bunch of them, so we're going to have them for the road.
Enjoy it, Dave.
I will.
Plastic Model Mojo is brought to you by Model Paint Solutions, your source for Harder and Steenbeck airbrushes, David Union power tools, and laboratory-grade mixing, measuring, and storage tools for use with all your model paints, be they acrylic, enamels, or lacquers. Check them out at www.modelpaintsolutions.com.
Well, Dave, we had modeler Bruce McRae back for another interview and some storytelling, just in time for folks' journey to the IPMS National Convention.
This could not be a more relevant interview for folks who are listening to this episode as you travel to the Nationals. It was a fun interview. It was a great story, even though at the time Bruce probably wasn't enjoying it while things were happening to him. But it's a good story. We got to talk to him not only about his misadventures, but also about the shows that he attended. It was a really good time.
Everyone out there who's had a TSA incident, a minor accident on the way to a model show, had to have something canceled because of weather or whatever, this bud's for you.
Well, Dave, it's been a minute since we've had tonight's guest on. I was looking back, it's been a year and a month since we've had our favorite professional modeler retired, Mr. Bruce McRae, on the show. Bruce, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. Just nice. All these hoops we get to jump through to make this thing connect.
Well, our good friend John Miller, Dr. Strangebrush, has similar problems. And so we keep this backup plan B up our sleeve for such events because sometimes it's just easier to cut to the other one, the other option, and hopefully it works out. And it worked out again.
If it was easy, anybody could do it.
Well, Bruce, we had John before, and we talked a lot about your career and your start in the hobby. And then last year, well, that's how we met you. Actually, you were on one of your whirlwind model show tours.
Yeah.
That's all great and grand, and you've done it again this year.
Yes.
And this year, we're just going to lead with that, and we'll talk about some other stuff later. But
Okay.
I tell you what, man, when you sent me that email, I'm not sure Merle Haggard could have written a better song. You talk about reading like a country song.
Oh, all you needed was a steel guitar.
And the dog.
Yeah, and a dog.
Oh, it had dogs. There's dogs in the store.
Oh, that's right.
2 golden.
Good man. We've got a golden.
Oh,
We got that in common.
You're of the body then.
We are. Well, listen, Dave and I have both had model show mishaps. I've had stuff broken in transit. Dave was involved in a minor car accident once, and some stuff got damaged. We've got a host of friends in our podcast friends circle who've all had TSA issues traveling to international shows via, even domestic shows via aircraft. But I tell you, I've never heard anything quite like the story you emailed me about, and the fact that you even finished the mission.
Yes.
Was pretty amazing. So for the folks we're going to drop this like right before everybody starts traveling to the IPMS National Convention.
I was going to point.
So this is going to be some good entertainment, hopefully, for those folks who are trying to figure out what they're going to do for the next 7 hours.
Yes. This is also not a challenge for somebody to up me. Let's this one be the worst.
Okay. Yeah, well, I hope it's all downhill for you. But let's start with what the initial plan was, and then you just go.
Well, like the initial plan, kind of like combat. Initial plan goes to hell as soon as you meet the enemy.
Yes.
And kind of what happened here. We had a 9-week trip planned. We were going to hit 4 model shows. Let's see. One was in Pennsylvania. That'd be the AMPS Nationals. Florida, there was a dual AMPS and a figure show. And one in Texas, Model Mania, and when the last one was in Ohio. So the plot was, we'll hit those shows, we finish on Ohio, which is about 4 weeks, and then we will go to the East Coast and see some museums and battlefields like New York and down to Tennessee, and even wanted to stop and see what's the museum, the Smithsonian that has the aircraft?
Udvar-Hazy.
Yes, I wanted to see that again because they finished building the Heinkel 219.
Yes,
and I've always loved that model.
I got to see that as it was being restored.
Me too. Yeah, about 17 I saw that, and now it's all there. Also, I wanted to visit my model displays that are in the Smithsonian and the Aerospace Museum again. Never hurts to look at those.
Yeah,
make sure they're taking care of them.
Yeah, they're kind of high up. You can't really touch them. So that was the plan. Okay, 9 days into the trip.
Now, where did you start from?
Oh, from Las Vegas.
In what and with who?
With the wife, my 2 golden retrievers, that'd be Baron and Nimrodel, and we have a SUV that's big enough for all of us. In the back seat, in 3 tubs, are my models very carefully packed. I'm really a master at packing for shows now. And then we had our trailer, which is we would use campsites
Sure.
and camp and do that.
Gotcha.
So leaving from Vegas, heading, I think we're on the 10 for the most of it. And no, I'm sorry, the 40. And we get into Louisiana. We parked the camper at a campsite, and we unhitched. And then the next day we went into town and kind of looked around it. There was a really cool air museum there, kind of one of those little private ones.
Mhm.
So it had all kinds of interesting stuff stuffed into corners, and kind of one of those dusty ones.
I have to interrupt and ask you, your
Yes.
camper, is it just a classic fifth wheel or?
No, it's sort of one step down. It's got 1 axle, 2 wheels, and the front and back fold out for the beds.
Oh, okay. Kind of like a teardrop or one of those mini campers?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's big enough you can stand and walk around. It's a little tight, especially with 2 Goldens. And one side, the front side, opens down and makes beds, and that's for the kids. And the other side is for us. And there's a little dining room table, which I can set up a computer, and we can read and chat and eat.
Gotcha.
So the thing is that this was a Wednesday, and it was raining on and off all day. And at one point, really, really hard enough where you pull over because you can't see a thing. In fact, when I was coming back to the car from lunch, I started to get into the wrong car. Our vehicle's white, like there are no other white vehicles, right?
Yeah.
And it was starting to rain hard, and I went to the first white car and opened the door. I'm so glad there's nobody in it. But this isn't my, oh crap, I closed the door. Oh, there's my car. I ran over there. Meanwhile, I'm becoming soaked.
Right.
So anyway, we get back. We stopped at a hobby shop. That was kind of fun. And we got back a little later than we intended. And of course, I like to hook up the trailer when we get back and drive out first thing in the morning. Well, it was getting dark and we were both tired. So I said, we'll just do it in the morning. That was the first mistake. It rained hard all night, thunder, lightning, to points where the vehicle shook and wakes you up. I didn't get a lot of sleep. 5:30 in the morning, finally asleep. My wife wakes me up, says, Bruce, get dressed now. And there was an urgency in her voice. Okay, up I come. What's going on? Look out the window. It is pitch black out there, except for just a few lights on some of the buildings in the distance. And it was reflecting water.
Ooh.
What the hell? There's water out. Wait a minute, there was no water. We're in a lake. Holy mackerel. I can see what the land rises out in the distance. And so I said, okay, yeah, let's get dressed. We got to figure out what's going on here. And when she noticed, the water had just come up to the folded down steps. By the time I got my pants and shoes on, I noticed there's water on the floor.
Ooh.
By the time I got my shoes tied, the mats on the floor are floating. We got about 2 inches of water now. And we were like, okay, we have a problem. So we got our leashes on our kids and our harnesses. We grabbed our backpacks. We moved anything low up high. And at that point, the water is now ankle deep in the trailer within really a couple minutes. And so I was like, yeah, I guess I better get out of here because, who knows how deep this is going to get or if the trailer might roll over.
Right.
Yeah.
Or
And
float away.
And like a jelly sandwich, it always lands face down, right?
Mhm.
Pretty much.
Like the door. Yeah. So we opened the door and water flowed in. Now it's about shin deep. And I goes, well, I hate soggy, wet shoes, but we're already there. So what the hell? So the kids jumped out. Oh boy, we can swim. It's a swimming pool. They're Goldens, right?
Yeah,
And
they thought it was an adventure.
this is fun. Yeah. Hey, great. Let's do this every day. So wife steps out and she's waist deep. I step out. It's about high thigh on me. And of course, it's still raining. So we sort of carefully plod our way towards the higher ground, which is about 100 yards away. And we get to the shore, and your head's just swimming with what the hell, will my car work? Or what's going on? Are my models safe? And we get to the high ground, which is, of course, where the ranger cabin was, on the high ground. Smart man. Anyway, it's now 6 a.m. It's still dark, and I'm looking at my vehicle in a it's like a swimming pool. The fortunate thing is the water didn't rush in like a tidal wave, which would have probably moved the trailer or even knocked it over. It just filled it up like a bathtub.
Right.
And as I looked at it, the water was already up to just starting to go over the hubcaps of the car. And as time went on to the next hour, the tires of the car were totally covered. And yeah, that was a special day. And of course, we're sopping wet. Dogs don't seem to care. And, now it's about 10 o'clock. The rain stops, and it appears the water is receding slowly. And anyway, what happened was Marsden has contacts from the SCA in Florida, and contacted a friend named Carrie, and she contacted other people. And we eventually found somebody where we were staying in Louisiana or swimming. And they managed to come get us and the dogs and take us back to their place, so at least we could dry off. And about 4 o'clock, they drove us back over there where the water had recessed to about 12 inches deep. And we were saying, can we move our car? And the car was stone cold dead.
I imagine if the water that high.
Not even the, no, nothing. One of those electric cars, right? I mean, not an electric car, but there's too many electronics in our cars now.
Right.
And so we folded up the trailer and we moved stuff out, starting with my models, which were not in the water. The water did enter the car, but up to just below the seats. And my models were in tubs on top of the back seat, so they were dry. Good. Yay. The also fun part was, you've probably heard of Mike McFadden.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Mike had said, Bruce, could you take for me my beautiful scratch-built German flagship to Texas, where I will meet you, and then I don't have to worry about transporting it there. And I says, I can do that. Yeah, it was in the car. I was like, oh, great. I got my
I know
model.
that model.
Yes. I says, well, at least the ship, I probably could have pushed out and, pushed it across the lake. No. I didn't do that. So anyway, all the models were fine. We pulled them out. And to sort of cut the story, at the end of this, about 10 o'clock at night, a tow truck showed up with our car. They towed it out and the trailer. The car, now we deal with the insurance. And I have a show in 2 days in Florida. My wife manages with these same friends to get me and my models to the show, spend the night there, and then shuttle me back while Marsden worked out the insurance. I did very well at the show. Yay.
Oh, that would be no doubt. Mike McFadden probably thought he was playing it safe sending with you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, yeah. Because, TSA, they love to trash your models, right? They have to worry about, yeah. So, by the way, I didn't tell him what had happened because I know he would worry, though I know his model was fine. And so, once we were able, they totaled the car, they totaled the trailer.
I'm sure.
It was an enormous amount of effort to get them to rent us a car big enough for us, the dogs, the models, and whatever we could salvage out of our trailer. We did eventually get one and packed it to the gills. I mean, you couldn't have gotten a shoehorn in there. But it was enough room for everything. And we were able then to drive to Texas at the Model Mania show.
At this point, you didn't just call it a day and go back home. You decided we're going to persevere.
Well, yeah. And really what happened was we went, what do we do? And I said, well, look, we're already here. You know, I mean, we're on the right side of the country to hit the shows, and I hate to go home going, well, let's see, dead car, dead trailer, no show. Yeah. No, I said, well, let's do the shows. But then we saw the $3,000 rental for the car. That pretty much eliminates the second half of our trip. So if we do the show, the amount we would have spent on the second half of the trip would be equal to basically what the rental was. So the show, it'll still cost about the same. By the way, I had a friend tell me, it might have been Mike, and he says that, shit, McRae, you ended up a flood, fire, car crashes. I'll get to that next. And you still go to the show. Nothing can stop you. He says, that's about right. So I met Mike. We had a great day the day before going to hobby shops, and his bottle was safe, and I gave him the whole story. He blanched and turned pale, but he saw his bottle was okay. I was afraid to open it. Like, I didn't even want to look inside. And we had a great time at the show. I'll tell you about the Mania later. It was a very interesting show. And so we did our shows. I did the Nationals. I was disappointed you guys weren't there.
So were we.
Yeah. Like, where are these? Oh, damn. What is it?
AMPS is a great show. The AMPS Nationals is just
It was a wonderful show. Absolutely. Yeah. I've got stuff about that for you later. So anyway, we did the shows. I did Ohio. Ohio was magnificent. Funny stuff there. And we're on our way home. We're taking pretty much a direct route out. Now, you both have grown up with Bugs Bunny. And you remember his famous quote, I should have turned left at Albuquerque. Yeah. Bugs was right. We should have turned left at Albuquerque. We had stopped in the morning at Albuquerque at the Costco to get gas. We got a hot dog lunch. We came out. We were at the red light, waiting for the light to go green. Goes green. We make a right-hand turn. As we get just into our turn, smash! A car crashes into us.
Oh.
Plastic flying everywhere.
Oh.
It was a van. He ran the red light. I thought they only did that in Vegas. And
apparently not. They do it in Kentucky too.
Yeah, I guess
the guys who do it in Kentucky are usually uninsured. And their licenses have been suspended.
Oh, good. I'll remember that. So it turns out the guy hits us, and he hit the front driver quarter from the front wheel up and destroyed it. It was just pieces all over the place, and the vehicle could not move. Like, great. This is nice. Now what? His van had a nice dent in it. I wish it was bigger, but his car was drivable. And I heard him talking to his boss saying, oh, these people hit my car. How did we hit your car when you came from behind us? How does that work out? Anyway, what was fun with that is we, of course, had to deal with getting a hold of the rental company, and then the car's totaled, so we got to get a vehicle to take it away. We have to empty the vehicle. I remember with everything we had in there, and so
probably at this point more than you left with.
Oh yes, there was like 500. 5 carts I filled from the parking lot just to get our stuff out, plus our dogs, plus my models, plus me. And then Marzan took Uber to go to find us another vehicle. 5 hours later, she showed up. By the way, that time of year, sitting in Costco parking lot, it's very hot and there's not much shade. So that was special. Anyway, we get the car back, and we get another car, get everything in it. And the next morning, we have 4 hours at the police station to file their police report, and then we can go home. I just couldn't wait to get home before somebody hits this car. So that was that. I hope nobody can beat that story. It was a pretty lousy trip.
That was not good.
Well, I tell you, that's not the only thing hard to beat. I tell you, something else that's hard to beat is the patience and perseverance of your wife.
Yes.
Oh, amazing.
You are clearly married to an angel.
Clearly. Yes, I don't know how I could have dealt with it, but I'm just sort of the artist guy in the family. But she's the tough one and organized. She got us together online here. I couldn't have done that.
Yeah. Well,
But,
throw that
yeah.
in too. But there was ample opportunities for a "we're going home," Bruce.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yes, definitely.
Hey, Mike, when you go to rent the car for the Nats, look for a picture. Do not rent to this man. A picture of Bruce. I bet you that's in every rental car counter in the
Oh,
country.
well, it was funny is that when we were dealing with the next car from the same company, they were trying to tell us, "Oh, you didn't want the collision insurance." Like, baloney, we didn't. Of course we did. They were playing some interesting. Then they said, "Oh, you rented a Lincoln." No, we didn't. We had a USV. I mean, some completely different. They even had the serial number and the license plates wrong. Like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
Luckily, I had a photo of our license plates. No, this is the car we had. You rented it to us. So it was just fun.
Well, the last car Mike rented didn't have a license plate.
Yeah, we got one without
nice.
it. Well, no, we got one with a temporary plate,
Yes,
a paper tag, and by the time we got to San Marco, Texas, it had blown off.
They happened to us too.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, that vehicle was 7 months old. Yeah.
Didn't live very long, did it?
No, it didn't. It certainly did well. By the way, no model was damaged.
Well, that's amazing.
That's great.
Nothing.
That is amazing.
It was amazing.
Most of those don't survive too many car crashes.
I was going to say,
No.
you need to do a seminar on how to pack your models for transport.
I could do that.
If you manage to survive both a flood and an auto accident, you know what you're doing.
Well, the funny part is with the flood is I had them in those clear plastic bins. They're kind of large, and I can put like 2 Xerox boxes inside. And if the water had come up, it would have had to come up over the top of the window because, they were closed, sealed, and if anything, they would have been floating inside.
Yeah.
So we're pretty good. The only thing I did do is to get extra room, I bungeed 2 Xerox boxes to the top of the bins. Now those would have gotten wet.
Yeah. You didn't have any hassle with your insurance company getting your claims paid?
No, we didn't. In fact, just to cut back, we also got pretty much all of our money from the campsites we couldn't go to. We got refunded. And there was one that told us that, well, we're going to have to cancel the campsite because we've been flooded.
That would have been bad.
Yeah, imagine that. But it was a different campsite, and it was like weeks later.
Well, glad to hear you survived all that. And
yeah,
I take it nobody was injured in the accident.
No one was injured because we weren't hit that hard. But gee, cars are made of plastic, so there's just crap flies everywhere.
Yeah,
I was glad he didn't hit us directly from behind because the dogs were back there.
Yeah.
And he might not have survived me if he had hurt my dogs.
I can certainly appreciate that.
I'm sure they just thought it was a grand adventure.
Oh, yeah. They did think the parking lot got boring after an hour.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about some of these shows.
Definitely. Let me talk first about the Texas show, Model Mania. It was a nice big show. It was just south of Houston.
Okay.
Yeah. Now I can't think of the name of the town.
Houston.
But it was just south of Houston. Yeah.
Okay.
And some suburb. And it was a nice big place. It was like a convention hall. There was tons of parking. The room between the tables was nice. And they had, I counted about 500 models there.
Nice.
And they said at the time when I asked them, they had about 190 people entering, and there were still more coming in. This is an IPMS show, and what they did was they did an open system.
Yeah, that's getting more popular.
Yes, it is. And so Mike and I, since we were together, we judged together. We did armor. We did about half of the armor. The other side of the table was another team. And what they did is they gave you a score sheet that was with each entry, and we would fill those out, and they would stay with the entry. So the entrant would come back and could see, oh, I got this score, and these are the notes that they liked, and these are the notes that I need to improve on. And it was kind of cool. And a perfect score would be a 21. And what made it really nice was when you're dealing with best of category, best ship, best tank, best plane, you just start looking at the highest scores. So they say, are there any 21s here? No. Any 20s? I have 3 of them. Okay, which one? Well, now we judge those. Makes it easy. And if there's only one with the highest score, like a 21, bingo. It's real easy, right? I mean, so it takes really no time at all.
So was this your first time at this show?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah. Not my first time at Texas, but first time at this show.
Now, was the first time they'd run this judging format?
I think it is. The only thing that they did something that was kind of neat, and then they kind of screwed up on it. They said that we will give you 2 bonus points. So 20 is a perfect score, but a bonus point would be if it's like you went way over the top, the wow factor. You know, he scratch built this whole thing out of a potato peel and it looks amazing. That would be wow factor. Okay. The other was documentation. They say we will give you a point for documentation. And they just want to see that you did some research on your model. And so Mike and I, we did docs on all of our stuff. And in fact, he forgot his stuff, so he had to type them out fresh.
Well, apparently that from what we understand from our Australian friends, that's very common in Australia.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yes.
I know AMS does it here.
Yes, they do. It's like a half point or something for
it's
that.
A half point.
Yeah.
So here's the part that they blew, is that as I was in the judging meeting with Mike, they're explaining, you know, how we're going to do things. And here's the sheet. And I looked at the sheet going, oh, I see a checkbox for did you get the wow factor point? But there's no checkbox for the documentations. What are you guys going to do about that? Well, just write docs and put a point if it gets it. So it wasn't a negative if you don't get it. It would be a bonus if you do. Well, it wasn't on it, and we noticed that nobody put a doc point for anything. So I have people doing it, and nobody got credit for it. Sigh.
Well, I'm sure they'll amend that the next time.
Yeah. It's just a matter of putting a little box there, you know.
It's amazing what slips through the cracks. I'm sure to someone's chagrin, the big challenge coin they had made for the Madison National Convention last year had Madison spelled wrong on it.
Yes.
Did it really?
Yeah.
It did.
That's good. That's rich. I like that. So let's see. So by the way, the show, they put out coins, first, second, third place, gold, silver, bronze, for the models. And they put them out. They had a guy just dropping them out as he would go through before the award ceremony.
Okay.
So basically, people got a chance to see what won.
Okay.
Or how did I do? What beat me? Or, you know, whatever. And that was nice because you could actually see it. They saved the best of awards for the ceremony, which took a whole half an hour.
That shortens the award ceremony up significantly.
Oh,
always
time.
Nice.
Yeah. And I think this is better because people get to actually see, rather than saying, well, the Mustang took first place. There were
Which one?
Which one? Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you know, and Bob Bozo took first place. Who's that? I don't know. You didn't have a chance. By the way, the diorama table was kind of nice. It was very long. It went halfway down the hall. And they were able to put the dioramas, instead of shoehorning them in against the wall, they were on the tables. You could be on either side to view them, and they were all in single file all the way down the length of the table. So it was
That's
real easy
interesting.
to look at them. Yeah. It was a bitch because the tables are so long that if you want to see it on the other side and you're in the middle, either direction, you got a long walk to get around the other side. But, oh well,
But, well, at least you could get to it instead of being
But you
against
did.
the wall. Yeah.
Against the wall, you can't see the back. Something that I've been doing now is many of my pieces I will put on a Lazy Susan. And I
Okay.
put a little sign that says, rotate, please. And it gives people permission to rotate. And it's nice seeing them doing it, especially judges going to go, I don't have to pick your model up. I can rotate this and look at it.
That's an interesting idea.
Yeah, I think that might become popular.
It might.
I've seen that done before, and yeah, that makes great sense.
Oh, it does.
Well, since we've been doing the show spotlights to help promote these shows before they actually happen, especially in the last year or so, there's been several going to this format, and it seems to be pretty well received. What did you think, just at a high level, did you think of this?
I found that personal. I think that the open system is wonderful because it supports the model maker. It helps him, which isn't that why we're having shows? It kind of helps people learn and grow and improve their skills. Well, with our typical 1, 2, 3 system is that if there's, 20 models in a category and there's 1, 2, 3, well, were you 4th place or 20th?
Right.
And why didn't you place? Well, they found something they didn't like about your piece. And for the most part, you'll never know. So you have no way, the model maker, of learning and improving. What we were doing, as we've done with the amps too, I've now judged at both at the last 2 nationals and a separate amps show now. And you look over the model and the whole construction, finish and all, and you say, oh, the left wheel is slightly askew, and what you'll write down is left wheel 3rd back slightly askew, knock you half a point. Okay, now the guy can go back and say, oh, he's right, look at that, well, I need to do better. Or there's a little shiny glue bit showing, and this way the modeler can learn what he did right. But just as important, he can look at the sheet, and because at least at AMPS, and Mike and I did it in the Mania show, you write down something positive. So the guy knows, hey, we loved your weathering. Oh, okay, good. I did something right. This helps the modeler.
Did you judge at the AMP show as well?
Yes, I did.
I was going to ask you to compare the Model Mania judging experience to the AMPS, because they're both open systems,
right. But not all systems are equal. That's very true. Other than the paperwork or the number break can be different, and for amps they have their style.
Right.
And this one, they had a 1 to 20 points, and it broke down in construction and finishing, weathering, and some other stuff. I did save some of those sheets, and the difference is that at amps, you have a 2-hour shift and you get to sit down in a chair with a light, and the model's on a Lazy Susan. It doesn't get better than this.
Right. It's not judged on the table. It's judged back in the judging room.
And of course, here we were, standing, kneeling, squatting. By the way, don't tell anybody, but I've often stole a folding chair and I drag it with me so I can sit in and look at the model at eye level. And then I drag it down to the next model. Don't tell anybody that.
Fair enough. Well, what was the next stop in the model show adventure?
The next stop, let's see. Oh, well, the first stop was Florida.
Okay,
that was interesting.
We skipped one.
I took it straight to Texas. Florida, I was there on my own. I didn't know anybody.
Where in Florida?
It was just above Pensacola. So, in a place called Milton.
Yeah. And I grew up in Pensacola in the summer.
There you go.
My sister's a University of West Florida grad.
Ah.
I know where Milton is.
I was there last fall and finally got to see that Naval Museum there.
Oh, the best aviation museum I've ever been to.
It is. It certainly is.
Now I'm looking here. They call this the Blue Angel Model Fest. Does that ring a bell?
No, this show
Okay.
was interesting. This was an AMP show.
Oh, an AMP show. Okay.
Yeah, it was called Armorgeddon.
I was wondering if it one we had featured before, but no.
I don't think so. What they did, it was when COVID hit, the AMPS people, had to stop. And there was a second group there that was a model figure group, and they were called the Panhandle Miniature Figure Society. Their shows were small. When they were able to come back, because COVID, was canceled finally, they went, hey, both our shows are small. Why don't we combine our shows in the same venue? Maybe we'll draw more people. Okay, sounds good. So they did. So literally there were two different contests in the same venue that day.
Interesting.
So there was a miniature side and there was the AMP side. And though it was thin, I think there were less than 100 pieces there.
Mm-hmm.
I was curious how the soldier people would judge, but I was an AMPS judge, and that took all my time. It helped having judged at AMPS the year before at the Nationals, so I had kind of a clue. But it is interesting that each set of 4 guys kind of has their own flavor of what they judge and how.
Mm-hmm.
One of the points brought up is on the AMP sheet, there is a factor for difficulty. How difficult was the build? So you could give a guy a whole point if this was like, this was a tough model to make, rather than a model that had 3 parts. That one's probably pretty easy, so he's probably not going to get it. And our table captain, he told us that just give everybody a point, the full 1 point for the difficulty of construction, because guys still had to build the model and paint it and decal it and all that. So there's been some talk about changing that point or altering in some way, maybe make it a bonus point, rather than if you don't get it, you've lost 10% of your score right there. So yeah. So anyway, we went through the models, and it was a small show, small vendors, but it was kind of nice because it was kind of cozy and tight.
Mm-hmm.
You really got to chat with people and point and poke and look at stuff. And it was the first time in my life I've ever taken a best of show and 2 People's Choice Awards.
Well, that's cool. Congratulations.
How can you take 2 People's Choice? Because there were 2 different shows. I'm like, okay, I see.
Yeah,
okay. Well, Pensacola is heaven on earth. So yeah, anytime you have an excuse to visit there and get in a model show, that's fantastic.
Oh yeah, definitely. By the way, I'm not real keen about Louisiana anymore.
Yeah, you want to stay upstate.
Yeah, stay upstate, or at least just don't stop. Just keep going across the 10 to get out the other side.
Hey, at least when the rain started, the gators didn't come. That would have made it much more adventurous.
Well, Marsden told me much later, like on the way home, says, we were fortunate. There was no wildlife in the water as we were wading to the high ground.
Yeah,
it's true.
But I have to say this, I was so angry, so pissed, and so full of adrenaline that if some gator came by to take a chomp, I would have ripped him in half.
Had a new pair of shoes.
You are so dead.
Right.
Do your jaws fold all the way back around the other side? Yeah. Yeah, they didn't want any part of me. Our third show was the AMPS Nationals.
Well, hang on, just a second. We'll get to that, but just a quick comment. So you went Louisiana to Florida, to Texas,
yes,
to Pennsylvania,
yes,
okay,
and we end up in Ohio.
Yeah, this isn't a circuit, folks. This is
right.
No, we tried.
This is a tennis match.
It was a bit of a tennis match. On the way, we had like a week and a half from Texas to Pennsylvania. It doesn't take you that long to drive there. So we hit some battlegrounds and museums and, of course, hobby shops.
Oh, sure. I mean,
I looked up several of those.
with the days with other things to fill up, it makes a lot more sense.
Oh yeah, and a couple of train museums.
Okay, which ones?
Oh, I knew you'd ask me that. I'm sorry, I can't remember now.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Well, tell us what we missed at AMPS.
Well, at AMPS, I like getting there a day early to kind of spot everything out and know where it is. So if by some chance I had the wrong information, I don't show up that morning going, "Oh, it's not here." What? So I always come a day early, and also it gives me a chance to go through my stuff, make sure everything is good, nothing's broken. I had one thing that did happen. I have a diorama called Moo, and it's a German Hanomag, and the crew has bailed, and they're up against the wall looking nervous. They're on a road with kind of a hillside, and there's a ruined abbey above them. And they hear something, and they're all like, "What the hell was that?" And they're all nervous. And there's where they can't see, up above them is a cow. And it's got a cord around his neck that he chewed out, so he's loose. And like, "Hey, hello," and they heard a noise, and they're all scared to death. A figure in the half track, an officer, is pointing up in the direction where the cow is, though he cannot see it. Well, the figure, because of the 40, which is very bumpy, of 2,000 miles of bumpy road, he was on a pin and he sort of jiggled loose. So he kind of pivoted and one of his hands fell off.
No.
Now, it's not a problem. When I got to the amps, I remembered that. So I set the model up and I positioned him. The hand is on a pin. So I put it back in and it can pivot so it rests just right on the shoulder of the guy in front of him. It's kind of a tricky pose, but keeping it loose allows it to fit perfectly. And he's pointing. Well, what they do normally is when you enter your model at AMPS, and this is unique to AMPS, is that your model doesn't go onto the display room. It goes into a whole judging room.
Yep.
And the models are stacked up in queue. Once they're judged and photographed, then they're taken out to the floor and displayed. Well, They told us, put the dioramas on the table. Don't. We're not going to stack them up because they're big, and we'll probably come out and judge them there. That makes sense. Guess what? They carried all the dioramas in. Well, they put them on a nice little cart, and the cart rolls and it's cushioned,
and it vibrates.
But it vibrates. And what happened was they took Moo in, and it vibrated the man out of position, and of course the hand fell off. And a judge came to me later, like the next day or so, and, "Are you Bruce?" "Yes." "Moo, this is your diorama?" "Yes, it is. I need to say something to you about this." Now, I noticed just an hour before I met the guy, the figure was out of position and the hand was off. So I just put it all back. And he says, "Well, your diorama is magnificent. Everything is great. The story, direction, construction, it's beautiful. But it was getting knocked because this guy is pointing off into another direction. Like, what is this? What is this about?" And his hand wasn't there. Like, and he thought about going, this kind of quality, this model maker would never make this kind of mistake. I mean, it's impossible to think about that. Something's happened. And I explained to him, I says, "Oh, so what he does, he went back and he changed his score sheet where he had knocked me a point for the figure not lining up, and he took that off. A couple other judges didn't, but I still managed to get a gold out of it. The funny part was I read their criticisms. Two of them said, "Well, the Hanomag wheels were towed in, and so we took half a point off for that." Well, the Hanomags are all towed in. That's how they are. And it killed me to think these weren't aircraft judges. These are armor judges, and they didn't know that.
And that is the downside, of all judging.
Yes.
But particularly in that type of judging system, you have if there's something unusual on your model, you have to spell it out for them. Or you get 3 guys who build modern armor and have never seen a Hanomag in their life.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think I had those 3 guys.
yeah, I mean, and that just that happens at all shows, no matter the system, just because you're dealing with human beings. They can't know everything.
Well, one of the judge sessions that I did there, I did three sessions, and we were all looking at a modern tank. I don't remember what it was, and one had a comment like, "Well, I don't think this one had the thingy-majiggy there." And it says, "Did anybody know about this?" I don't know anything about it. And so we all realized none of us really know. Therefore, give the modeler the shadow of a doubt, because he built it. He probably knows more than we do. So we would tend to lean that way. And I thought that's a good way to go.
Well, generally, was the show well attended and vendors were hopping and all that? We missed the whole thing, unfortunately.
Yes, vendors were very good. Of course, Squadron was there with a huge display.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oh, Squadron did something else that was neat. They were passing out these little pins with their logo saying something like "Great job," and they were placing them with some of the models. I got 2 of them. Sorry, 3. Moo got 1. Oh, somebody else fun that happened there. Steve Mussel of Value Gear, he had a display. And when I came in, I brought my 9-scale motorcycle with sidecar and the dog. And by the way, I've called the dog Schnapps. So I tend to call the whole thing Schnapps now.
Okay.
Well,
that was the one that was on IPMS journal cover, right?
Yes, that was on the cover.
The Fell Gendarme.
Now, I hadn't seen this yet because I was on the road.
Okay.
And Bob Lamazaro had told me that, this is coming out. I was hoping it would show up in the mail before I left town, but it did not. So when I get to the show, Mike, he gives me a kind of a funny look and says, "Come here, Bruce," and says, "What is it?" And he holds up the IPMS issue with my model on the cover. I go, "Oh, there it is! Yeah." It's like, can I borrow that? Yeah, sure. Here. So I went on corner and read it, and it was an excellent article. Bob got everything right on it, and Mike said, "Hey, why don't you put it down next to your model on the table?" And so I did, and that was kind of fun. So it was kind of fun to see the article, see the photos. They all came out great. I was very, very impressed.
It's an impressive piece because it's so large.
There was a dealer there I did not buy any tank models. I know that's a sin, but I did see, thinking I wasn't going to buy any kits. And then there was a guy that had figure kits like DML and Tamiya and stuff. And he was blowing them out for $2 each. And so if you buy 6, they're $2 each. I went, I can use this one and this one. And I found 6 that I can use. So I pulled those out. The show was I think they said they had over 600 entries. So I think this might have been more than last year's.
Okay. I don't remember what last year's was, but it was
in that area.
It was in that area. It was a nice number of entries. So glad to hear that.
It was. The show ran smooth and on time. I did manage to go to a couple of the seminars. I did one with Rob Rivs from Model Insanity.
Yeah.
He did one on photo etch.
Yep.
How to solder it. Yep. And I learned so much from him. It was a great bit. And he had a marvelous display of a dozen of his pieces, all armor, tons of photo etch, no paint. So you could see that, see the work. And I was so impressed with that.
He's phenomenal with the photo etch. I mean, he's renowned for it. So I hate I missed that. Maybe he'll do it again at a future show. And I'll get to see that.
He could be talked into that. I learned a lot. Some of my fears of it went away.
That's good.
I took one also with the guy that was showing you how to use the extruded foam to make walls and bases.
Okay.
And I took the class and I did what he showed me, and I realized I much prefer the foams that I use, the rigid foam and the balsa foam especially.
Okay.
His stuff was too much work.
Foams you're using are made to do what you're doing to them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I marvel at how he can he can make them sing and dance the way he wants them to, but like, oh, it's a lot of work.
It's a lot cheaper though.
Oh, it is. Oh God, it is so cheap. I can see why people use it, and a lightweight.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a show went well, and you know what was nice about it? A little different than IPMS, because it's smaller. You get more of kind of a camaraderie with the people there.
Yes,
Yeah, that's something we took away from the South Bend show last year.
exactly.
That, it's much more of a fraternal kind of feel to it, just because everybody's kind of into the same thing. Everybody speaks the same language. All the vendors are skewed in one direction primarily, and
Sure.
it's just the whole thing it's an armor show.
The smaller size, it's more intimate in many ways.
Yeah, it is.
Good show.
And that's not a criticism. It's just, I mean, the AMPS National is different from the IPMS National. They're two different experiences. Both of
They
them
really
great.
are.
Both of them great, but
Oh,
they're
yeah.
two different experiences.
Now they're back in South Bend next year, so hopefully we can get our
Yeah.
act together in 2026 and actually get to some model shows.
We are going to be there, Mike. Come
Excellent.
heck or high water.
Yeah, that's what we said
Well,
this
I
year.
tell you about water.
Yeah.
And high water at that.
High
That's
water.
not me. The one thing I thought it was very interesting about the AMPS awards, and I've been to enough IPS awards, but the AMPS, it was interesting. The room could have been bigger because there are literally people standing up, lining the walls.
Yeah.
So we were a little short there, but what happened was you got a sense of everyone was excited for the people winning. And they do give you all of your awards at the time. They put them all in an envelope with your papers, and they hand it to you. Then they call out the best ofs. And there was such a sense of everyone is sincerely happy for everyone else.
Well, that just adds to the whole fraternal feel to the whole thing. So
It did a lot.
looking forward to the next time we can get to AMPS again.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
After AMPS, you had one more stop?
Yes, we went to Ohio, and that was the great name, ModelCon.
Where in Ohio?
Oh, someplace I'd never heard of before.
Well, what part of the state?
Roughly center, just
Columbus?
a little to the east. Yeah, kind of above Columbus, I think.
IPMS website saying Perrysburg.
That's it, Perrysburg. Yes,
okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's not one I've been to. Is that what'd you say? Mid-state?
Mid-state, just maybe about 10 o'clock from the center, and it was a nice little show. We were a little squeezed for space. Tables were quite full. I did have an interesting moment. I like to do all my paperwork in advance, so all I have to do is hand it in. I don't want to fill anything out. There's enough to do. And I always feel a little pressed trying to put everything down, get everything right, because I always judge. And that means I have to get the models entered on the table. I take my personal photographs, see what's for sale that I can't live without, all in the 3 hours, and then judge. Because once the judging is done, basically the show's over.
Right.
And then talk to whoever I want to talk to. So what happens as I'm entering, I put down a schnapps in the large military vehicle category. Okay. And I'm getting the stuff set up, and the guy who's running the show says, I'm going to have to ask you to move that into diorama. Really? He says, yeah, well, it's, the base is, it's got a road and grass and leaves and ruts, and so we don't judge the base if we only judge the piece. And he says, well, your figure and the dog, they're looking off in a direction, like they're looking at something together, and tells a story. Doesn't every figure on a model look somewhere that would be off the table? I mean, really? Anyway, I couldn't talk him out of it. It's his show, so I moved it. So it has to go in diorama against my Nazis Quit diorama. You can only take one award, so automatically one is going to lose. I'm like, oh, damn it. And it's like, okay, well, whatever. And I noticed there were no entries in large military vehicle. It was now empty. He took the only one that was in it. And so the head judge comes to me and says, I'm going to have to ask you to move that. That is not a diorama. That needs to go over here. Large. I'd be happy to. So I'm erased. Luckily I did everything in pencil. I erased it and rewrote the numbers on. Dang. So something kind of weird happened is that when it took first in its category, but Schnapps did not take best armor. It was a Sherman tank. It was beautifully done. When the awards happened, it took People's Choice and best of show. Like, how can it take best of show if it didn't take best military vehicle? I've never seen that. I don't know.
Unless they're spreading the wealth, I don't know. But I tell you, dioramas has been a category that is, well, my story is, God, where was it? I think it was in Charlotte, North Carolina. I was at a show very early in my modeling life. And I've got this Tiger tank I'd built. The old school way to get a late version. You take the old Tamiya kit and you kit bash it with the Nikimo late Tiger, put the steel wheels on it, put the cast cupola on it and all that, and make a late Tiger. And I'd done one that was on like the cover of one of the old Osprey books. And it was just crewing the hatches, rumbling down a road. But I'd put this little chicken with his wings spread and trying to run out from under the front of the tank and not get run over, right?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Perfect.
It was this little tiny detail.
Right.
And I had not had it in dioramas. So they put it in dioramas. And now it gets beat out. Now, mind you, I'm 17 years old, right? So it gets beat out by a troop of dwarves pushing a siege cannon.
Right.
It's a fantasy diorama. That was beautiful. But, that's kind of where this, I would say it leaves a bad taste in your mouth. Maybe it does, but it's where things kind of get gray and it's just inconsistent show to show sometimes.
Well, when dioramas started, this was back in the 70s, I really kind of pushed that category because I liked doing them. And there was no diorama category. It was just other. And what happened was when dioramas started to show up, well, then it became a diorama. What is a diorama? And there were some guys that were literally, if you just poured dirt on top of a flat piece of wood and put the tank on it, that's a diorama. Like, that doesn't tell the story. No. And there are people who were like that nuts for it. And then we eventually evolved into a place where, well, we went, maybe we should need large and small diorama. So yours would have been a small diorama, or what they call a vignette.
Yeah.
So it doesn't compete against, the invasion of Normandy with 6,000 figures. I mean, that would be nuts, right? So then now there's this other feel of a vignette is, I think this comes from the soldier people. It's a scene that doesn't have a story. So you could have the typical 3 guys standing next to a tank, everybody looking off in a different direction. There's no story, but it's still a scene. And then they're calling those vignettes now. And therefore we're going to show the skill of the painting and the assembly, but there's no story.
If you want to start a fight, go to the IPMS Nationals, go into the judging room when they're doing the judge's brief, and ask for the definition of a diorama, and then ask for clarity on out-of-the-box basic kit build.
Oh, my, yeah.
Or don't.
Yeah.
Or don't.
Or don't, yeah.
Go to the bar and have a beer instead.
Exactly.
No.
But
no.
those have been areas of contention for as long as there's been model contests.
Mike, Dave is right. What you do is it's like throwing a grenade in a room and leaving.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then watch them fight. Oh, yeah. Yes. Yeah, we've had some. Well, see, the thing about competitions is that, as I've heard people go on about, well, competition is not good. We should just all display things. No, we should compete. And I think coming from my earliest IPMS days, I realized that competition pushes skills. They raise everyone's skill level. Hey, I did this good and you win. Well, I need to do something better next time because, Bob over here is going to do this. And everyone's skill improves, kind of like what happens like aviation World War II. Look what competition did with that. In the 30s, they still had biplanes, and then they were in jet fighters at the end of the war, right? I mean, competition. So in that way, I like to see the competition, but of course, I like to also see people share their knowledge. Boy, how did I get off on that one?
So now,
That's okay.
Oops.
so now, has your wife forbidden you from traveling ever again?
Oh, no.
You're now simply stuck at home, and you're not going to any more model contests. There'll be no more driving cross country. None of that, right?
No.
Well, that's a
No,
good segue. What is in store for 2026?
She loves to travel. We bought a new trailer. We got a lot of money back on that truck. And so we bought a new trailer. The one's a little bigger, which I might actually be able to work on a model in it.
Has it got pontoons?
No, but we could probably attach them. But I got to
You
be
should-
sure that every time by the way, that site that flooded, that half of the site flooded. And that if we had camped on the other half, that was all above water.
Well,
We still probably got hit by that car, but
probably.
But would have been our car then. But yeah, so no, she's like, oh no, we're still traveling. She loves to travel, and she loves taking me to shows, and I love going to them. That was a thing I wanted to mention. Dave had made an interesting remark. I was listening to your show yesterday, number 144.
Okay.
You had said the internet is like drinking water from a fire hose.
Yep.
It just blasts all over you. And it says, yes, that was I laughed very good. I almost spit up my milk. Anyway, what was fun was that, and yet you think about that, and from the days before we had an internet, and we all remember that.
Oh, yeah.
Today, I say I'm working at my bench going, what is the color of American World War II canteen cup? The screw, the cap. What is it? And I go to the computer, I type in that, I look it up, I look for photos, I get dozens and dozens of pictures of canteens going, looks like most of them are black plastic with a few are aluminum, unpainted. Interesting. We couldn't do that 30 years ago.
Nope.
And also the fact that we can see other people's work and talk to model makers around the world and make new friends.
Yep.
And we couldn't do that without this.
Oh, yeah. I cannot imagine hopping in a time machine, going back to the late 80s, early 90s, and telling my much younger modeler self that you're going to know and interact with modelers from Australia and England and Finland.
Russia.
I mean, not much interacting with Russia right now.
At the moment, yeah.
At the moment.
Finland.
Yeah. But it is so completely different a world. It's almost not the same hobby in many respects.
Yeah. And as we've seen from our days before the empire of, PE and 3D printing, and of course all the types of paint chemicals that we're using now that we didn't have back when it was only enamel done. But you got to wonder, what's going to look like in the next 10 or 20 years? What will kits look like?
We're going to have to wait and find out, Bruce.
Right.
Well, yeah. But you've seen how a model kit. I just picked up a kit from last year from Wichita. It was an old Revell 1955, the long pointy nose thing, experimental X3 stiletto. And I remember seeing it as a kid. The guy wanted $10. It was all theirs. I bought it just from nostalgia, and I was looking at how simple the model is, how few parts. And then I've got one today, a Panther in 48 scale. I don't even know what the company is. Some company I never heard of, sort of SUSTA something. And the parts, so many, full interior, 48 scale, and the details are so crisp. And it's just like, in that time, how we've gone with computers to be able to basically cut the tools instead of a guy by hand doing it.
Come a long way.
A long way.
Well, do you have shows you got in mind next year?
I do.
You coming back east again?
I am. I am looking at probably not going to do the amps this time next year, but I'm thinking about the nationals. Because
Okay.
this be 3 years now.
Mm.
But what I'm looking at is, can I lay out a trail of cookies, hit several shows? And at the moment, we're going to test out our new trailer, A Long Way from Water. And we're going to go to a show in Leavenworth. I guess that's Kansas. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there's an IFEMA show there. And then we will slide down from there to, yes, another AMPS show in Texas. I think it's Goodwill. It's a small town between Austin and Houston.
Okay.
It's kind of a small place, but they've got an AMP show there, and then we'll come back. And as we return, October for me, there will be 4 shows in 4 weekends. So we'll do those 2. When I come home, I'm planning on going back to the AVG show in Antelope Valley, Lancaster. I think they call themselves the Desert Classic. I always like the AVG, their Antelope Valley group. And the last one will be, I want to go back to the one in Arizona, Model Zona.
Model Zona. Yeah, we've got several friends that attend that one every year.
So that's Mike's hometown.
Okay. Yep.
I'm planning to hit those. The one little thing that I have just finished is one for my wife. If you remember 1975 Tamiya M3 US half track.
Yeah.
Great kit in its day. Not so good today. Well, she grew up watching the Rat Patrol, as most of us did.
So did I.
So you made this one as a German vehicle?
Yes, because
really, I guessed right.
Yeah. Well. The funny part is that we were we're married and we're watching the Rat Patrol, and she said, "Hey, there's one of those German half tracks." I says, No, honey, that's an American half track. No, this is a German half track. See, it's got a cross on the hood. No, it's actually an M3, and the other one there's an M16. They just repainted. See, honey, there are no Hanamags available to Hollywood in 1960s, but lots of U.S. half tracks. So she's like, "Oh, really? Yeah, no, really, no Hanamags." So that's been our running joke.
You need to sit her down and watch Battle of the Bulge with her.
Oh, yes. That's right. Then she can look at M47s.
And painted rocks.
Rocks, yes. So anyway, she bought me this kit and had me paint it in Africa Corps.
There you go.
Good for you, man. For all she's put up with, that's the least you could do.
Yeah, that's right.
So I found out in Leavenworth show that there is a category for as seen on TV.
Yeah.
Oh.
Perfect.
There you go. You've already got your entry done.
I got one for that.
All right.
All right.
Well, Bruce, it's been a joy talking to you again. A lot of fun. I'm sorry all that bad stuff happened to you, but I'm just super impressed you still made it to all your shows. And man, that's a great story.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm sorry it had to be a great story.
Next time we're on, I expect you to have set it to music, country preferable.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Have you sing the ballad of the washed out modeler?
There it is, and yet he couldn't be stopped.
There you go.
Yeah, if I had to float those models out, I was going to. I was really at one point debating in that early morning. Do I have to rescue my models? Because it means I got to wade through waist deep water, carry one tub out at a time. It'll be at least 3 trips. And hopefully I don't slip and fall in the water.
All right. Well, we hope to see you at the National Convention next year, Bruce. And
sure.
Until then, we'll be watching out for your work and post some stuff on the dojo if you don't mind. And
I'll do that. In fact, what I'll do is when I start coming with a list of things back east, I'll let you know where I'm going to be at. Who knows,
all right?
Thank you.
We'll keep an eye out.
What state are you guys in?
Kentucky.
Both of you?
Yes.
Yeah. How can it? If Kentucky's long, kind of where on it?
Well, Mike's in Lexington and I'm in Louisville. We're about 65 miles apart.
But we're in probably the eastern third of the state.
The eastern God. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So it's kind of bulbous on one end, and I'm right in the middle of that, and then he's just due west of me.
And in between where Mike lives and I live, 90% of the world's bourbon is made.
Oh, perfect. Well, I'm actually having Diet Coke on the rocks.
Okay.
Oh yeah. By the way, if I'm and I may well be coming through that area someday. If I'm coming by your area, I'll
Let
I'll
us
stop.
know. Reach
I'll
out.
say hi.
And we'll give you the Kentucky hospitality.
I'll take you to a really good hobby shop.
Oh, now you're talking. By the way, just one last comment is that one thing that was fortunate for me as a kid is that I grew up in walking distance of 3 hobby shops.
Yeah, that helps.
How many kids do we know that, mom had to drive them a half an hour to get to one?
Yeah.
And I was walking distance to 3 of them. Awesome.
That explains a lot.
It does. It does.
Well, it was good to talk to you, man.
Great to talk to you guys. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Y'all come back now, here.
Dave, I tell you what, man, I hope we have a lot of things happen at the IPMS National Convention, and I hope absolutely none of it is any of that stuff.
Amen. I kind of felt bad laughing about it as he was telling the story, but the fact that he has, with some time and distance now, he can look back and see the humor in it, really makes it an entertaining story for him to tell. And I'm telling you, he needs to either put that to a country music song or sell it as the next National Lampoon's Vacation movie, because it would work either way.
And salute to his wonderful wife, too.
Yes, man, what an angel.
A lot of love and wisdom right there, so he's a lucky guy.
Yes, he is.
I'm glad he made it home safe.
Yes.
Plastic Model Mojo is brought to you by Squadron. Head on over to squadron.com for the latest in kits and accessories, all at a great price and with great service. Are you a modeler on the go? Check out the Squadron mobile app for your Apple or Android device for easy shopping from just about anywhere. Squadron, adding to the stash since 1968.
Well, that's a relevant ad.
Yes, it is.
I know what's up on your bench. You had to lean on Brandon and company to bail you out of some negative modeling, Dave. What is up on your bench?
Well, as everyone knows, I'm rushing to get some stuff for a group entry done, some Bearcats for a group entry done for the Nats. And I was on track. Everything was going good. And then I had a minor masking / decal disaster that sidetracked me because some decals got destroyed due to some masking pulling up that I sure as heck didn't think was going to pull up. And the problem is, despite having the world's largest decal stash, I did not have a replacement for one of the kit decals that I needed. And there was no other way to fix it or replace it, at least not quickly, other than to go on Squadron's website, find it. They had it in stock because their website is dynamically updated. I knew it was actually in stock. I was able to order it. I was able to order it and ship priority mail, as much as it hurt my heart to do so, because I needed this thing ASAP. It arrived today. So between now and dark 30 on Wednesday morning, when I hop in my car and head to your house to arrive before 6 o'clock, I'm going to be at the bench modeling, trying to get stuff done for the Nats so that I can. Well, I've already got one entry done for the group build for the Nats, but this is another one, and bound to determine that I'm going to finish it, and it's going to be on the display table at the Nats.
Well, good.
And that's it for me, other than I want to get back to the SAM. I had to move the SAM out of the way as I was finishing this project, and I looked at it and reminded me how much I like what I've done on it. So as soon as we get back from the Nats, I am back on the SAM because I'm going to finish that sucker.
Yeah, y'all need to have a hard conversation about the 2026 show.
Yeah, I know. I know.
I mean, for you, man, but between the dark time
Mhm.
and the time you got to spend on these group build projects for these group builds you do with the September's gang,
Yep.
you only have like 4 months out of the year you're doing your own stuff.
Yep. I know. I know.
And
Well,
I
I'm
don't know.
hoping.
From this seat, that's not cool.
Well, I'm hoping we pick a topic for next year. The conversations have already started. I am hoping we end up picking a topic for Fort Wayne where I already have items built previously that will fit in the group build so that then I don't have to come up with anything new. But we'll see. I'll let you. I'll report back in episode 146.
Well, I'll lobby for you. Hopefully, it's they can do something around Imperial Japanese Army aircraft
Yes.
or Navy high-vis fighters.
Or Japanese. You know what? Japanese catapult float planes would be a great group build. You could
For me,
I was going to say you could participate.
yeah, I could.
How about your bench? Well, I kind of know what your bench.
Well, I've been, posting a bunch of stuff on the dojo every time I try to do
That's what I
something.
was going to say. Everybody all the listeners who are on the dojo know what you've been doing. You've been cranking it out on that KV-85.
Well, I mean, it's not really hypersonic yet, but it's moving forward. I've got all the lifting eyes on the engine and transmission deck. I've got the transmission access hatches in place, and I've got the
exhaust,
the armor shrouded exhaust on it. I'm still stuck, but I don't have the mesh I want for the radiator intake or outtake.
You know where a great place to find mesh might be?
Where?
The IPMS Nationals.
Nah, maybe not what I'm looking for though.
Well, you never know. I mean, you never know. You'll be pawing through a box under a vendor's table, and you'll come across some old piece of aftermarket that works absolutely great for you.
And I have 3 different sizes of nylon mesh in my save for later eBay cart, so we'll see. With that though, and I also finished the dome hatch. I haven't glued it on yet. The center engine hatch. I don't know if I've talked about that or not. Made some rings out of fine solder, the lift rings for that, because it has really big ones on it. And I think I did talk about that. We won't talk about that. It's definitely on the dojo. In the interim, this radiator screen thing has got me a little worried you're going to be able to see into them. Now, those screens on the real tank were a pretty fine weave mesh for what they were.
Right.
Still, though, if you can see down in there, it's obvious there's nothing under there. Which, if it's dark and you can't see anything, that's fine. But if you can, it's kind of a distraction.
Right.
After a lot of internet work, I finally found a photograph from Aberdeen Proving Grounds.
Oh.
The Soviets sent a KV-1 to both Bovington Camp and Aberdeen during the war.
Yeah.
And it's still the tank that's in the American collection, the KV. But it's with the photographer was standing on the turret. The turret's rotated 90 degrees, so it's not overhanging the engine deck. And then all the engine and transmission covers are off. I don't mean just the hatches, the entire
the
plates above them. Yeah. And you can see the tops of the radiators that are adjacent to the engine. And it was just enough detail that I made some quick Fusion 360 CAD geometry, and I've test printed them. And I'm wondering now, though, if I get the mesh right, maybe a little bigger out of scale, just a little bit, to where I can it looks like these things are kind of like the tops of the radiators are maybe aluminum, natural aluminum. And then, the radiator banks themselves were probably unpainted as well.
Yeah.
Paint these in some lighter grays and things that if the mesh was big enough, you could actually see these under them.
Right.
So that's where I'm going now.
And the thing is, you're not trying to replicate
fine
detail. All you want is an impression so that if somebody's looking at it from the right angle,
they can see it.
They can see that there's something there that looks vaguely, approximately correct.
So that's anything else up on my bench? No, that's pretty much it. Now, you mentioned the float plane. We'll see how our loadout looks like when we pack up on Wednesday. But I'm thinking about bringing the float plane and 2 of the Musaru entries and put those in the Tiger Meat display area.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got no reason to enter any of those in the main contest. Just don't want to.
Right.
But I'd like folks to see them.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I've actually thought that there are one or two items I may bring for display only, as well as the couple items I'm bringing for the group build.
Well, let's talk about it. Maybe we can do
Okay.
a Mojo display at the Tiger Meat. Good idea.
Bases by Bill is back with quality display bases that enhance any model. From US and Japanese wooden carrier decks to custom-sized cherry hardwood bases, Bases by Bill display bases are available for any type of model and for any size. Oh, and have you heard? Bases by Bill is now a US reseller for one-man army high-definition paint masks. These masks bring amazing detail to your model, even maintenance stencils. They have to be seen to be believed. And all one-man army products include free shipping. Check basesbybill.com to see the products. Bases by Bill for all your model display needs.
Well, folks, thanks for enduring this truncated episode of Plastic Model Mojo, and we hope everybody has a safe trip to and from the National Convention.
Yep.
And really looking forward to it, Dave. Hope we have a good time. I know we'll have a good time. I hope we have a really, really good time.
Yes, we're going to have a great time. For all the listeners, everybody who's listening to this, we have a table in the vendor room, and we want you to stop by, say hi, talk with us about an episode, about something on the dojo, about what you brought to the Nationals. That is the single biggest enjoyment that Mike and I get out of the Nationals.
And if it's your first time, make sure you tell Dave.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, Dave, I will see you bright and early or dark and early on Wednesday morning, my friend.
You will. You will. I will not be late. I can guarantee that.
Good luck on your Bearcat, getting
Thank
that
you.
wrapped up. Another good reason for a truncated episode.
Yeah.
You got a little more modeling time.
That's right.
All right, man. Until then, so many kits, Dave.
So little time, Mike. See you soon.
We'll see you in a few days.